Hello! Today I'm reviewing a pendant by Alchemy Gothic called the Whitby Wyrm. It's a dragon and it's very cool. It is not a worm, although people call dragons worms for some interesting reason. Why do you think that is, Gomez, darling?
It might be the long shape that's occasionally reptilian and sometimes not. I think they became attached in mythology.
Interesting. We study mythology a lot, so if you guys are new, do subscribe. Check out our spooky playlists. I'm Morticia. Gomez is behind the camera, and this is our roommate Slappy. He decided to come hang out. Thank you, Slappy. So check this out. This pendant ranges from 20 was a really good deal. I found it on Amazon, and I will link that below. But it goes from $20 to $40 online. I've seen it usually at $34, something like that. And that's still not a bad deal. It's a very solid, heavy pendant. It's a good size. It's a good pewter on a nice chain. But it is just pewter, so I think 20 is a lot better deal. Alchemy Gothic does have a little bit higher prices because they're designer, but if you look around and you really shop and just take 5 minutes to scroll around online, you will find a good deal. And this is a good deal from Amazon, $20. It's lovely. Now let's talk about, I collect dragons, and this is a unique position. I don't like to get positions repeated over and over that I already had. We'll discuss, this is actually a dragon made from a dragon of legend. So we will talk about that in a second, but let's do the pendant first. I like the position. He's got his tail curled around, and you could actually hang a stone from this part of the tail at the bottom. It will not come off. Or you could hang one from here if you wanted it kind of hanging in the hoop of his tail down here. And I thought about making a little raw garnet, like a red one, and hanging it here. When I have time, I might do that, and it would add a little dangly that's inside that won't make him even longer, because I like to layer necklaces. So I think I'm going to do that eventually. Just kind of a little DIY that you could do. You can hang it from the lower loop here, or the middle loop here. And like I said, I'm going to do this so that it's hanging in the loop of the tail. So that's what's going to happen eventually. And he's so cool. What I really like, again, about the make of this, and I've commented before in my other jewelry reviews, if you have not seen those, check out our jewelry playlist, because we find the coolest stuff at the best prices for you. This bail where the chain goes is a solid piece with the dragon. So it's not like, let's say, this Hogwarts Castle one where it swings back and forth and could technically come off its bail. It shouldn't, but it could. It's like this unicorn piece that I have, this unicorn bead cage, where it actually is one solid piece. See where it's not swinging or moving. The bail is part of the same metal as the pendant, except the dragon, unlike the unicorn, you can't see the bail. It's a hidden bail because it's behind him on the back of his head, which is even cooler because it cuts off unnecessary length. So I really like that design. I haven't seen Alchemy Gothic do a lot of these with the bail being one piece with the actual like dragon or whatever they're making. So that's really neat. They do a few, but I haven't seen it as commonly. So you've got lovely detail here with his mouth open, and you can see his tongue, or it could be flame. It's like whatever. And his mouth is open. He's roaring. He's rampant. He's an angry dragon, which is nice when I'm in a bad mood. I can wear him and feel like my dragon is commiserating with me and rocking it with me if we want to rock it. So this is where the tail curves around. Then you see his bottom leg, and then you see the top leg here. So he is a dragon with 4 legs and not a wyvern, because there's not just 2 bottom ones. You're seeing the side view. And he's got his chest kind of arched back because, again, he's in rampant angry mode. He's in mid-flight. He is probably crashing down the temple, which we will be discussing in a second from the legend. He's got one wing wider here, and you see different, like even the back, it shows the ripple of the wing. And then this other wing is more like drawn in because, again, it's showing him in mid-move, in mid-flight. And that's nice. And then you've got the scales down the back and the ridges, as it were, and then along the whole tail. So really nice raised detail here. You've got the belly scaling here that you can see when you turn here, where they're doing the front. And the back is hollow in a lot of places. It's 3D in some others. It's hollow on the body. And then the wing here, like I said, shows the 3D rippling, and then the tail looks more 3D. So it's like, oops, it's both. And it's a good size. There's the back again. He's the largest piece I have on at the moment, and I've got him kind of with a fantasy themed layer. I have Grindelwald's pendant, which I got from Noble Collections in a recent Harry Potter jewelry haul. And then I'm wearing the castle with the unicorn together. That's Hogwarts, and I have a unicorn bead cage, again from a recent haul. A nice big jewelry haul I recently did. If you missed it, check it out. And then I had to wear this to show a friend, Karen, and the rest of you. This is my lovely Medusa. I turned her into a choker. She is lovely. I just love the way the snakes look, the way her face is so beautiful. And her hair is, it's got the hair and the snakes, so it's not like her hair is just snakes. I got this from a store called Capricorn's Lair, and I guess it's gone. I can't really find it now. I got Karen and Medusa for Christmas in her box, and I was trying to find her this one, and I couldn't. So I had to get her the second best, which is still really cool. Hers is stainless steel, and it's very nice. This is pewter. So it's just the closest I could get, but I told her when I do the Whitby Wyrm review, I will show you my Medusa. So everybody gets to see my Medusa that you probably can't find online anymore, and it's sad, but there are very cool similar ones. But I love her. She's beautiful. And she looks good with the dragon, so I enjoyed the theme I had going on with fantasy and serpentine stuff and mythology. But let's talk about the Whitby Wyrm itself, Gomez, that this pendant was named for.
Yes, originally the Wyrm of Lambton, it happened to come across the path of John of Lambton, who neglected his duties, did not go to church according to one version, and because of that the worm was born. And not only that, what he did wrong in the story was actually leaving the worm unattended. And when he did so and went to crusades or some other pointless pursuit, eventually the worm started growing and demanding its stall. And like a good, every good worm that requires its stall, it wants to eat humans or it would accept sacrifices. So this one was fed nicely on Milky.
Milky!
So long as people brought it Milky and cows, it was content. So eventually,
the milk is in the cow.
The wisdom of the Milky, we call it.
Yes, we do. We are milk drinkers.
So eventually, and there was a witch that suggested how to kill the worm, and it told John to put his armor around himself that was made with spears on top of the armor so that the worm could not coil itself around it, and eventually make a sacrifice of the first thing he saw after he killed the worm. So he did don the armor and he managed to kill the beast that had worm-like and serpentine features alike, including a lizard-like head, but he wasn't able to fulfill the condition of killing the first person or creature he saw after killing the worm, and because of that his family was cursed for 9 generations.
They call this worm supposedly like the Antichrist too, for some reason, I guess, because it didn't like this temple that, or chapel or whatever, that was built on top of its mountain. That was a later legend that in Whitby there was, I guess, maybe the Lambton Abbey or something, and it was, the worm was like under the mountain, and the building the abbey ticked it off and disturbed it, and it tried to wreck the temple, and it was banished into the sea, and then it keeps coming back every like maybe 9 years because of the 9 in the curse or something, to rock it and raise hell again and be angry that the temple is there on its beautiful mountain. So there's a couple different interesting legends. That one, the dragon survived, so we like that one.
Yes. It bears certain parallels to other famous legends, like the legend of St. George, of course, but even earlier than that there was the epic of Baal, about Baal and Asherah and their battle with the god Yam. So often the Yam god from Phoenician mythology is represented by his beast, which is a 7-headed serpent, and somebody takes the power of the earth in some capacity, represents it, to defeat the beast.
Kind of like Scylla with the 7 heads, and we go out to how the mythologies connect together. It's very fascinating.
Yes.
From different like parts of the world that didn't even know about each other, and then you see the mythology connections. It's very fascinating. So I like having a pendant made in honor of a legend. The Whitby Wyrm is cool, and apparently he comes out of the sea to try to get rid of the temple again every so often because he didn't like it.
And he still misses his Milky.
Yeah, where's the milk? He doesn't really enjoy the sea cow's milk as much. Like, he's like, really? Come on. So anyway, that's cool. I like the way Alchemy Gothic actually takes a lot of their inspiration from like history and legends, and it's really cool. And they did a very nice dragon pendant. A lot of the dragon pendants, if you look at them online, like seem like similar poses and positions. So as a collector, I like the more 3D ones, and I like the ones that look different from each other. That, you know, I don't want something similar to what I already have. This one could be made into a choker too if one wanted to. You could just run the ribbon through this bail at the back and then another one through the tail here, and sorry, Medusa, have it like here. So if you wanted to do that, like, it could be there, but I'm just good with it here as a pendant. It's a nice chain. The chain has links in it, so it's about a 20-inch chain, but you can make it longer or shorter by putting the lobster claw clasp through any of these links. They're big enough that it works well in any of them, so I like that because I have adjusted his length a few times. And he's a good everyday kind of jewelry piece. I wear him in the shower and to bed, and he's very sturdy and fine and doesn't have any weak points. So I'm really happy with him. Great pendant, and again, if you look around, you get it at a good price. He's worth $20. I guess he's technically worth $34, but I like $20. I really do. I always try to find good prices. So check out our other hauls if you want to see more interesting jewelry at good prices, and until next time,
Stay spooky, my friends.